burden,
burden,
重い負担またはストレス。
The news was a heavy burden to bear.
the news was a heavy burden to bear.
She carried the burden alone.
She carried the burden alone.
The burden of proof is on the accuser.
The burden of proof is on the accuser.
Burden,
Burden,
aspect,
aspect,
事柄の特定の部分または要素。
consider all aspects of the problem.
consider all aspects of the problem.
The building has an interesting aspect.
The building has an interesting aspect.
The social aspect of the issue.
The social aspect of the issue.
Aspect,
Aspect,
district,
district,
特定の地域や区域。
She lives in a residential district.
She lives in a residential district.
The shopping district is busy.
The shopping district is busy.
The district is known for its schools.
The district is known for its schools.
District,
District,
desperate,
desperate,
極度の、または切迫した状態。
The workers formed a union.
He was desperate for help.
A desperate attempt to escape.
A desperate attempt to escape.
They were in a desperate situation.
They were in a desperate situation.
Desperate,
Desperate,
union,
union,
グループまたは組織の結合、または結婚。
He was desperate for help.
The workers formed a union.
The union of the two companies.
The union of the two companies.
Their marriage was a happy union.
Their marriage was a happy union.
Union,
Union,
grant,
grant,
与えること、または金銭的支援。
The university granted him a scholarship.
The university granted him a scholarship.
Her request was granted.
Her request was granted.
They applied for a research grant.
They applied for a research grant.
Grant,
Grant,
treat,
treat,
何かを特定の方法で扱うこと、または楽しむ。
He treats everyone with respect.
He treats everyone with respect.
Let's go out for a treat.
Let's go out for a treat.
The doctor will treat her illness.
The doctor will treat her illness.
Treat,
Treat,
rush,
rush,
急いで行動すること、またはそのような動き。
don't rush your decision,
don't rush your decision,
there was a rush to the exit,
there was a rush to the exit,
he felt the rush of adrenaline,
he felt the rush of adrenaline,
rush,
rush,
deny,
deny,
何かが真実でないということ。
he denied all the accusations,
he denied all the accusations,
she denied having seen him,
she denied having seen him,
the request was denied,
the request was denied,
deny,
deny,
somehow,
somehow,
どうにかして、特定の方法が不明ながら。
we must solve this problem somehow,
we must solve this problem somehow,
somehow, I don't believe him,
somehow, I don't believe him,
she managed to escape somehow,
she managed to escape somehow,
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 notion,
notion,
一つの考えまたは信念。
he had a strange notion,
he had a strange notion,
the notion of freedom is important,
the notion of freedom is important,
she dismissed the notion as absurd,
she dismissed the notion as absurd,
notion,
notion,
constitution,
constitution,
国の基本法、または体の健康状態。
the Constitution guarantees rights,
the Constitution guarantees rights,
he has a strong constitution,
he has a strong constitution,
they debated the new constitution,
they debated the new constitution,
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 steady,
steady,
変動が少なく安定していること。
the Roman Empire was vast,
he had a steady job,
keep the ladder steady,
keep the ladder steady,
she walked with steady steps,
she walked with steady steps,
steady,
steady,
empire,
empire,
多くの国や地域を支配する強大な国家。
he had a steady job,
the Roman Empire was vast,
the sun never set on the British Empire,
the sun never set on the British Empire,
he built a business empire,
he built a business empire,
empire,
Empire.
Permit.
Permit.
許可を与えること、またはその許可。
It's hard to maintain balance.
The law does not permit smoking.
She applied for a work permit.
She applied for a work permit.
No parking is permitted here.
No parking is permitted here.
Permit.
Permit.
Tide.
Tide.
海の水位の周期的な上昇と下降。
The tide is coming in.
The tide is coming in.
They set sail on the high tide.
They set sail on the high tide.
The tide turned in their favor.
The tide turned in their favor.
Tide.
Tide.
Maintain.
Maintain.
何かを同じ状態に保つこと。
The law does not permit smoking.
It's hard to maintain balance.
They maintain a healthy lifestyle.
They maintain a healthy lifestyle.
He maintained his innocence.
He maintained his innocence.
Maintain.
Maintain.
Horrible.
Horrible.
非常に不快または恐ろしい。
The accident was horrible.
The accident was horrible.
She heard a horrible noise.
She heard a horrible noise.
He had a horrible feeling about it.
He had a horrible feeling about it.
Horrible.
Horrible.
Male.
Male.
男性、または男性に関連すること。
The male bird displays bright colors.
The male bird displays bright colors.
The majority of workers are male.
The majority of workers are male.
Male attitudes towards shopping.
Male attitudes towards shopping.
Male.
Male.
Occur.
Occur.
発生する、または起こること。
The accident occurred yesterday.
The accident occurred yesterday.
Changes occur over time.
Changes occur over time.
The event will occur next week.
The event will occur next week.
Occur.
Occur.
Trace.
Trace.
微量、または何かの起源を追うこと。
He has some unique characteristics.
There was no trace of him.
They traced the phone call.
They traced the phone call.
Trace the history of the building.
Trace the history of the building.
Trace.
Trace.
Characteristic.
Characteristic.
何かを特定する特徴や性質。
There was no trace of him.
He has some unique characteristics.
The characteristic flavor of the wine.
The characteristic flavor of the wine.
It's a characteristic of the species.
It's a characteristic of the species.
Characteristic.
Characteristic.
Shelter.
Shelter.
保護を提供する場所、または保護すること。
The earthquake made the house shake.
The cave provided shelter.
They built a shelter for the homeless.
They built a shelter for the homeless.
Animals seek shelter in the storm.
Animals seek shelter in the storm.
Shelter.
Shelter.
Shake.
Shake.
激しく動く、または手を振ること。
The cave provided shelter.
The earthquake made the house shake.
They shake hands in agreement.
They shake hands in agreement.
The dog shook its fur dry.
The dog shook its fur dry.
Shake.
Shake.
Industry.
Industry.
商業的または経済的活動を行う分野。
The car industry is important.
The car industry is important.
He works in the tourism industry.
He works in the tourism industry.
The film industry is growing.
The film industry is growing.
Industry.
Industry.
Profession.
Profession.
専門的な職業や職務。
Medicine is a noble profession.
Medicine is a noble profession.
She entered the teaching profession.
She entered the teaching profession.
He's respected in his profession.
He's respected in his profession.
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 Trail.
Trail.
歩くための小道、または何かを追う行為。
They hiked along the mountain trail.
They hiked along the mountain trail.
The police are trailing the suspect.
The police are trailing the suspect.
The dog trailed its leash.
The dog trailed its leash.
Trail.
Trail.
Match.
Match.
競技やゲーム、または何かを合わせること。
The soccer match was exciting.
The soccer match was exciting.
His skills match the job requirements.
His skills match the job requirements.
She found a match for her lost earring.
She found a match for her lost earring.
match,
match,
debt,
debt,
返済する必要がある金額。
he is in debt after buying a house,
he is in debt after buying a house.
they worked hard to pay off their debts,
They worked hard to pay off their debts.
the country's national debt is growing,
The country's national debt is growing.
debt,
Debt,
declare,
declare,
公式に発表または宣言すること。
the president declared a state of emergency,
the president declared a state of emergency.
he declared his love for her,
He declared his love for her.
customs require travelers to declare their goods,
Customs require travelers to declare their goods.
declare,
Declare,
vague,
vague,
はっきりしない、不明瞭な。
his directions were very vague,
his directions were very vague.
she had a vague feeling of unease,
She had a vague feeling of unease.
the memory was vague and distant,
The memory was vague and distant.
vague,
Vague,
security,
security,
危険から守られる状態、または保護。
airport security is tight,
airport security is tight.
he invested in securities,
He invested in securities.
security measures were increased,
Security measures were increased.
security,
Security,
capacity,
capacity,
収容できる量、または能力。
the stadium has a large capacity,
The stadium has a large capacity.
he has the capacity to learn quickly,
He has the capacity to learn quickly.
operating at full capacity,
Operating at full capacity.
capacity,
Capacity,
settle,
settle,
問題を解決する、または場所に住み着くこと。
they settled their differences,
they settled their differences.
settle the bill before leaving,
Settle the bill before leaving.
early settlers came to this area,
Early settlers came to this area.
settle,
Settle,
involved,
involved,
関与する、または参加すること。
she donated to charity,
he was deeply involved in the project.
the problem is more involved than it seems,
The problem is more involved than it seems.
many people were involved in the decision,
Many people were involved in the decision.
Involved.
Involved.
Council.
Council.
意思決定を行う公式な集団または会議。
The city council approved the plan.
The city council approved the plan.
He is a member of the school council.
He is a member of the school council.
The council meets once a month.
The council meets once a month.
Council.
Council.
Charity.
Charity.
助けを必要とする人々に対する援助や寛大さ。
He was deeply involved in the project.
She donated to charity.
The event was for charity.
The event was for charity.
Acts of charity are important.
Acts of charity are important.
Charity.
Charity.
Element.
Element.
ある全体の一部または部分。
Water is an element of life.
Water is an element of life.
The design has many unique elements.
The design has many unique elements.
He studied the elements of the problem.
He studied the elements of the problem.
Element.
Element.
Incident.
Incident.
特定の出来事または事件。
The incident occurred last night.
The incident occurred last night.
They reported the incident to the police.
They reported the incident to the police.
No one was hurt in the incident.
No one was hurt in the incident.
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 Poverty.
Poverty.
経済的に非常に困窮している状態。
They lived in poverty for years.
They lived in poverty for years.
The charity aims to reduce poverty.
The charity aims to reduce poverty.
Poverty is a global issue.
Poverty is a global issue.
Poverty.
Poverty.